Hey there. Thinking about selling your place in Manor?
Sounds like you picked a great time for it,
Seriously. Our sources say this market is on fire.
especially around ShadowGlen.
And Presidential Meadows.
Yeah, it's like a construction zone with all the new builds popping up.
We're going to deep dive into all that.
Help you make the best decision.
Whether you go with a traditional realtor.
Or maybe check out a cash offer from Sell That House to Me.
Speaking of, if you're looking for a fast and fair cash offer,
Especially if you want to cash in on this market upswing.
head over to sellthathouse2me.com.
That's sellthathouse2me.com.
But first,
Let's unpack what makes selling in Manor so different.
and how you can come out on top no matter which route you choose.
Right, it's not just the new construction that makes Manor so hot right now.
Our sources describe it as dust devils and stampedes.
Talk about a vivid picture.
Manor's population has jumped over 10% in just a year.
All those families priced out of Austin are flocking here for more space, that small town feel,
They're driving up demand.
especially in areas with that classic Manor charm.
Like the historic downtown by the old cotton gin.
Property values are definitely on the move.
That's great news for sellers.
It is, but navigating a hot market like this can feel a bit overwhelming.
So let's break down your options.
Starting with the traditional selling route.
Right, the good old realtor.
Our sources point out that you might fetch a higher price that way.
But it comes at a cost.
They use a $370,000 home as an example.
Just the agent fees alone would be over $22,000.
Then you've got closing costs.
Potential repairs.
It all adds up.
Plus, the traditional route can take 60 to 90 days.
And you're kind of at the mercy of buyers getting financing and inspections.
And during that time, you're still on the hook for all the costs of homeownership.
Mortgage payments, utilities, a whole 9 yards.
And in a market like Manor's, where prices are climbing, that lost time could mean lost money.
Exactly.
So if you're looking for a faster, simpler way to sell,
You might want to consider a cash offer.
from a company like Sell That House to Me. That's right. If speed and certainty are what you need.
A cash offer could be your best bet.
And if you're curious what that looks like for your property,
Head over to sellthathouse2me.com.
sellthathouse2me.com,
It's the best way to see what we can offer.
and how we can help.
One thing I find fascinating about cash offers is the peace of mind they provide.
Our sources describe the traditional sales process as a flat tire on HY 290.
Talk about a frustrating delay.
That analogy really hits home. In Manor's hot market, every day your house just sits there.
It could be a day you miss out on potential gains.
But with a cash offer, you can close in as little as 7 days.
No repairs needed.
You walk away stress-free,
That's a huge advantage.
especially for folks in challenging situations.
Imagine facing foreclosure
Or inheriting a property you don't want.
or going through a divorce,
Suddenly, a cash offer becomes less about maximizing profit.
and more about getting a lifeline.
Exactly. It's about taking control and moving forward.
And that's exactly what Sell the House to Me helps people do.
We buy houses as is
Handle all the paperwork.
and get you cash in hand quickly.
It's that certainty and speed that sets cash offers apart.
You don't have to worry about buyers backing out
Appraisals coming in low.
or any of those hiccups that can derail a traditional sale.
Right. Speaking of certainty, one thing that stands out in our sources is the importance of local expertise.
And that's something we pride ourselves on at Sell That House to Me.
We live and work in the communities we serve.
We understand the unique dynamics of the Manor market,
From the bustling HY 290 corridor,
to the charming historic downtown.
that local knowledge allows us to tailor our offers to reflect the true value of your home.
We factor in everything from recent sales data to the specific features and condition of your property.
We're not just throwing out numbers.
We're making informed offers that are fair to both sides.
So if you're looking to sell quickly,
And you want to work with a company that truly understands the Manor market.
Sell That House to Me is definitely worth considering.
Absolutely. We know you have options.
And we want you to feel empowered to make the best choice for your situation.
Whether you choose to go the traditional route or explore a cash offer.
We're here to provide information and support.
Now, we've talked about the benefits of selling your home quickly in a hot market.
But let's not forget what makes Manor such a desirable place to live.
It's not just about real estate. It's about the community, the lifestyle.
That unique blend of old and new.
That's where it gets really interesting.
We're going to dig deeper into what makes Manor so special.
But first,
We want to highlight another great reason to consider Sell That House to Me.
if you're at all curious about what a cash offer could look like for your property,
Visit sellthathouse2me.com.
sellthathouse2me.com.
It's completely free and no obligation.
You can get an idea of your options.
And see if it's the right fit for you.
Great point. Now,
Let's step back and explore what's attracting so many people to Manor in the first place.
it's a town with a fascinating history.
And as we mentioned, it's experiencing this incredible surge of growth.
That blend of old and new creates a really interesting dynamic
You have these historic neighborhoods with charming homes.
that have been around for generations.
And then you have these brand new developments with all the latest amenities.
It's like a living timeline of architectural styles and community planning.
And that's what's so exciting for sellers in Manor.
Buyers have a wide range of tastes.
So whether you're in a historic neighborhood or a brand new development,
There's likely a buyer out there for you.
you're right.
It's about highlighting what makes your property unique.
And appealing to the right buyer.
Speaking of buyers,
One of the most interesting trends we've seen in Manor is the rise of the lifestyle buyer.
our sources say these folks are less focused on the purely financial aspects.
And they're drawn to the slower pace.
The sense of community,
All those things that make Manor feel like a world away from the city.
it's like they're looking for a different kind of rhythm
One that's a bit more in tune with nature.
and a bit less about the hustle and bustle.
And that's reflected in the types of properties that are most in demand.
We're seeing buyers gravitate towards homes with spacious yards,
Outdoor live-in spaces.
easy access to parks and trails.
So if you're selling a home that fits that description,
You're in a prime position.
but even if your property doesn't tick all those boxes,
There's still plenty of buyers looking for well-maintained homes in desirable neighborhoods.
and that's where the expertise of a company like Sell That House to Me can be invaluable.
We understand what buyers are looking for in Manor,
And we can help you position your property to attract the right offers.
even in a competitive market.
Absolutely. One thing that always helps, no matter what type of home you're selling, is curb appeal.
First impressions matter.
Make sure your lawn is well maintained
Your landscaping is tidy.
and your front door gives off a welcoming vibes.
You want potential buyers to fall in love before they even step inside.
Right. But with so many new builds in Manor,
How can someone selling an older home compete?
that's a great question.
It seems like those shiny new constructions would grab all the attention.
Well, new builds have their appeal.
Mhm.
Older homes have a charm and character that can't be replicated.
So it's about playing up those strengths.
Highlight those original details
Showcase the mature landscaping.
and emphasize the sense of history that comes with an older home.
I love that. It's about finding what makes your property special.
And letting that shine through.
Now let's talk about the inside
Our sources emphasize the importance of decluttering.
and creating a clean, spacious feel.
Buyers need to be able to imagine themselves living in the space.
And that's hard to do when they're tripping over clutter.
Exactly. Get rid of anything you don't absolutely need
Depersonalize the space.
and let the natural light flood in.
A fresh coat of paint can work wonders too.
It's all about creating a blank canvas.
That allows buyers to envision their own lives unfolding there.
Those small touches can make a world of difference.
Now,
Let's talk about repairs.
this is a question we get a lot.
How much should you invest in fixing things up before selling your home?
It's a tough one.
The answer depends on several factors.
Your budget
The condition of your home.
and your timeline for selling.
If there are major structural issues or safety concerns,
Those definitely need to be addressed,
but if it's more about cosmetic fixes
like chipped paint.
or a leaky faucet,
You might be able to skip it.
especially if you're looking for a quick sale.
And that's one of the great things about sell that house to me.
We buy houses as is.
So you don't have to worry about making any repairs.
Even if your property needs a little TLC
It takes that burden off your shoulders.
and lets you move forward faster.
It's all about simplifying the process.
Now, one thing our sources don't talk much about is the emotional side of selling a home.
For many people, their home is more than just bricks and mortar.
It's a place where they've built memories
Raised families.
and created a life,
So the decision to sell
even if it's for practical reasons.
can be bittersweet.
You're so right.
I remember selling my first home.
And it was definitely an emotional roller coaster.
The memories,
The pack-in,
the goodbyes,
it's a lot to process.
on top of all the logistics involved in the actual sale.
It really is. And that's something we try to be mindful of at Sell That House to Me.
We understand that selling a home is a big life transition.
And we're here to support our clients through every step of the process,
We want to make it as stress-free and straightforward as possible.
so you can focus on what matters most moving forward with your life.
I love that.
It's not just about the transaction.
It's about the human connection.
And speaking of human connection,
Let's zoom out and talk about what makes the Manor community so special.
we've mentioned the blend of old and new.
But there's so much more to it than that.
It's a town that's steeped in history.
But it's also looking towards the future with a real sense of optimism.
You have these longtime residents who remember when Manor was a sleepy little town,
And then you have these newcomers.
who are drawn to its affordability.
Its proximity to Austin.
And that small town vibe that's becoming increasingly rare.
And that blend of perspectives creates a really dynamic energy.
It's like Manor is writing its own story.
One that's rooted in tradition, but also open to new possibilities.
Exactly. And that's reflected in the town's amenities.
You have the ShadowGlen Golf Course for those who enjoy a leisurely round of golf.
You have parks and trails for outdoor enthusiasts,
And you have a growing number of restaurants and shops.
which are adding to the town's sense of vibrancy.
It's like Manor is finding its own rhythm.
Blend in the best of small-town charm with the amenities and opportunities of a larger city.
And that makes it an incredibly attractive place to live.
Which is why we're seeing so much growth and interest in the real estate market. It's a great time to be a part of the Manor community,
Whether you're buying.
or simply enjoying all that this town has to offer.
Now let's talk about some of the practical considerations for anyone thinking about buying or selling in Manor.
We've already touched on the financial aspects.
But there are other things to keep in mind as well. Okay, let's get practical.
One thing that often comes up is schools.
Ah, yes.
Manor ISD has been making some impressive strides in recent years.
With new facilities.
Innovative programs.
So if you have children or are planning to start a family.
That's something to factor into your decision.
Right. And then there's the whole question of commuting,
Manor is located just east of Austin.
which means you have easy access to all the big city amenities.
But if you work in Austin,
You'll need to factor in that commute time.
that's a great point.
Traffic can be a bit of a beast during rush hour.
So it's important to consider your tolerance for that.
But the good news is that there are some alternative transportation options,
Like the Capital Metro Rail.
which can make the commute a little easier.
And for those who work remotely or have flexible schedules,
Manor offers a great opportunity to escape the hustle and bustle of the city.
without feeling completely isolated.
Exactly. It's all about finding the right balance for your lifestyle.
Now let's talk about something that's near and dear to my heart. The food scene.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
Manor might not have the same culinary reputation as Austin.
But it's definitely got its own flavor.
We have some fantastic local restaurants serving up everything from classic Texas barbecue to authentic Mexican cuisine.
And don't forget the food trucks,
Manor has a thriving food truck scene.
which is a great way to sample different cuisines and support local businesses.
And let's not forget about the Manor Grocery and Grill,
It's a local institution.
serving up delicious comfort food and a healthy dose of small-town hospitality.
It's the kind of place where everyone knows your name.
Exactly.
And that sense of community is something that you'll find throughout Manor.
Whether you're hanging out at the park
Attend a high school football game,
or just chatting with your neighbors at the grocery store,
you'll feel a sense of belonging here.
it's a place where people look out for each other.
And that's something that's becoming increasingly rare in today's world.
Well said. Now, one of the things our sources highlighted is the importance of understanding the broader economic context.
When making real estate decisions.
So let's take a look at some of the bigger forces that are shaping the Manor market.
Starting with population growth.
As we've discussed, Manor is experiencing a population boom,
Right.
but it's important to see this as part of a larger trend.
The entire Austin metro area is growing rapidly.
Thanks to a strong job market
A relatively affordable cost of living.
compared to other major cities,
And of course.
that desirable Texas lifestyle,
So all those people moving to the Austin area need places to live.
which is driving up demand.
And putting upward pressure on housing prices.
It's classic supply and demand.
And while that's great for sellers,
It can be challenging for buyers who are trying to enter the market.
so if you're thinking of selling your home in Manor,
Now could be an opportune time to capitalize on that high demand.
absolutely. And if you're looking for a fast, fair, and hassle-free way to sell your home,
You know where to find us.
sellthathouse-to-me.com.
sellthathouse-to-me.com.
We can help you navigate this exciting but sometimes overwhelming market.
And get you cash in hand quickly.
We're your local experts.
And we're always here to answer your questions and help you make the best decision for your unique situation.
Now let's talk about interest rates.
They've been a bit volatile lately.
And that can have a big impact on affordability.
You're right. And here's where it gets interesting for Manor specifically,
Okay.
with interest rates fluctuating.
Locking in a cash offer now could protect you from potential market slowdowns.
That might affect traditional sales later
It's all about mitigating risk,
and ensuring a smooth transaction.
no matter what happens with the broader economy.
That's a great point. It's like having a safety net in uncertain times.
Now, another factor that's on everyone's minds these days is inflation.
We're seeing prices rise across the board.
And that can make it harder for buyers to save for a down payment.
Or qualify for a mortgage.
While inflation does present challenges for buyers.
It can actually benefit sellers in Manor,
How so?
as the cost of construction materials and labor continues to climb.
New homes are becoming more expensive to build,
This makes existing homes
especially those that are well-maintained and move-in ready.
even more appealing.
It's like a silver lining for sellers in a challenging economic environment.
Now, we've covered a lot of ground in this part of our deep dive.
We've talked about lifestyle buyers,
Maximizing your property's appeal,
the emotional side of selling,
population growth,
interest rates.
and inflation.
It's a lot to digest.
But hopefully you're starting to see the unique dynamics of the Manor market.
And how those forces can work in your favor as a seller,
We've talked a lot about the benefits of selling your home quickly.
especially in a hot market.
But let's shift gears and really explore what makes Manor a special place to live.
Let's do it.
We'll delve into the town's history
It's charming neighborhoods.
and the factors that are driving its growth and popularity. One of the things that makes Manor so unique is its blend of old and new. You have these historic neighborhoods with charming homes that have been around for generations, and then you have these brand new developments with all the latest amenities.
It's like a living timeline of architectural styles and community planning.
Exactly, and that creates a really interesting dynamic. In the real estate market, buyers have a wide range of options to choose from depending on their taste, of their budget, and their lifestyle.
So let's break down some of those options. Let's start with the historic neighborhoods. What can you tell us about those?
Well, one of the most sought-after historic neighborhoods is downtown Manor. It's the heart of the community with its quaint shops, restaurants, and that iconic cotton gin that we've mentioned a few times.
It's like stepping back in time, but in a good way.
Exactly. Homes in this area tend to be smaller and older, but they have a lot of character and charm, and they're within walking distance of everything that downtown has to offer.
So it's a great option for people who want that small town vibe and a strong sense of community.
Absolutely. Now, another historic neighborhood that's worth mentioning is the area around Bell Farms.
That's a name that's come up a few times in our sources. What's special about Bell Farms?
Well, it's one of the oldest neighborhoods in Manor, and it has a really interesting history. It was originally a dairy farm, and many of the homes in the area were built for the farm workers.
So it has that agricultural heritage that's so much a part of Manor's identity.
Exactly. Imagine owning a piece of Manor's history.
It's like having a little piece of Texas history right in your backyard.
Exactly. Now let's shift gears and talk about some of the newer developments in Manor.
Okay, let's talk new builds. What are some of the highlights?
Well, one of the most popular new developments is ShadowGlen. It's a master-planned community with a golf course, a community center, and a variety of amenities.
And it's known for its beautiful homes and family-friendly atmosphere.
Exactly. ShadowGlen is a great option for buyers who are looking for a move-in ready home with all the bells and whistles, and it's located in a prime spot with easy access to HY 290 and the rest of the Austin metro area.
So it's a good choice for commuters and people who want to be close to the action.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, another new development that's worth mentioning is Presidential Meadows. It's a bit further out from the city center, but it offers larger lots and more affordable prices.
So it's a good option for buyers who are looking for space and value.
Exactly. Presidential Meadows is a growing community with new homes being built all the time, and it's attracting a lot of families who are priced out of Austin but still want to be within commuting distance.
So it's a good example of how Manor is becoming a destination in its own right, not just a suburb of Austin.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about something that's often a concern for buyers in rapidly growing areas, infrastructure.
Right? Can the roads, schools, and utilities keep up with all this new development?
That's a great question, and it's something that the city of Manor is actively addressing. They've been investing heavily in infrastructure improvements, including road widenings, new schools, and upgraded water and sewer systems.
So they're trying to stay ahead of the curve and make sure that Manor remains a desirable place to live.
Exactly, and those investments are paying off. Manor's becoming increasingly attractive to businesses and residents alike, which is driving further growth and development.
It's like a positive feedback loop.
Yeah.
Growth leads to more investment, which leads to more growth, and so on.
Exactly. Now let's touch on something that's particularly relevant to our listeners who are thinking about selling their home's property taxes.
Ooh, yeah. That's always a hot topic in Texas.
It is, and it's something that sellers need to be aware of. Property taxes in Manor are relatively low compared to other parts of the Austin metro area, which can be a big draw for buyers.
So that's definitely a selling point.
It is, but it's important idea to consult with a tax professional to get the latest information.
Good advice. Now, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into the Manor real estate market. We've talked about the town's unique blend of old and new, the variety of housing options available, the city's investments in infrastructure, and even the issue of property taxes. But I think the biggest takeaway is that Manor is a community on the rise. It's a place with a rich history, a vibrant culture, and a bright future.
And whether you're looking to buy, sell, or simply invest in this dynamic community, there's no better time than now to get involved.
Well said. And if you're thinking about selling your home and speed, simplicity, and a fair price are your top priorities, we encourage you to visit sellthathouse2sammy.com. That's sell that house to me. .com, we can give you a no-obligation cash offer and help you navigate the exciting yet sometimes overwhelming world of real estate.
We're your local experts, and we're passionate about helping people achieve their real estate goals. So thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the Manor real estate market. We hope you found it informative and insightful. And remember, whether you're a seasoned investor or a first-time homebuyer, there's always something new to discover in this amazing community.
We'll be back next week with another deep dive into a different market. Until then, happy house hunting.